school board to order. I'll ask the business manager to note the roll call and ask that everybody rise as Ms. Snow leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item is adoption of the agenda. The most recent is on the table in front of you. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I would move adoption.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for adoption of the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. That motion carries. For our dates to remember, February 20th is President's Day. There's no school. February 24th, that's Friday, February 24th is the deadline for filing nominating petitions for school board election. The deadline is 5 p.m. at the business manager's office. February 27th is the regular Board of Education meeting at 5:30 p.m. here in the Instructional Planning Center in the arena. March 1st is early release. March 10th is no school. And March 13th is the first meeting in March for the Board of Education, again at 5:30 p.m. here at the arena. The remaining dates to remember are on the agenda. We now turn to community input for items not on the agenda. Is there anybody present for community input for an item not already on the agenda? Seeing no one come forward. Number 7, there are no conflict disclosures to consider today. So we'll move on to the consent agenda. The superintendent of schools recommends approval of the following. A, approval and/or correction of minutes of previous meetings. B, consideration and approval of bills. C, approval and/or correction of the financial report. D, approval of new hires. We have Leslie Tobkin as a dispatcher and bus driver, Trace Whiff as a cleanup crew custodian, and Lori Kaufman as a special education paraeducator at the Washington 4-5 Center. There are 3 contracts for board approval. Marley Carlson as the high school choral director, James Stuckrith as the high school band director, and Laura Beck as the band instructor for the Washington 4-5 Center. We have resignations for board approval from Mike Weaver as the head coach for girls tennis with 6 years of service, and Josh Boland as the head coach for boys soccer with 3 years of service. We then have a number of groups who have given us their intent to apply for grant funding. A middle school drama is applying for a $1,000 grant from the Hearing Community Foundation to cover the expense for the Missoula Children's Theater. The Hearing Student Council was applying for a grant from HYLC for $500 to focus on leadership and state student council. The High School Student Council is also applying for a grant from the Hearing Community Foundation for $2,500 to help fund state student council and fan buses. The Washington 4-5 Center is applying for a grant, the Reflex Educator Grant, which is a 12-month free use of a product that will reinforce the quick recall of basic math facts to attain automaticity to a level of mastery that enables a long-term memory without conscious effort or attention. We have the Huron Middle School applying for the Homeland Security Grant for $25,000 from the South Dakota Office of Homeland Security. This is to fund keyless entries at the middle school.
Which would be parallel to the other schools.
And that'll put them in line with how other schools are, how keys are done at the other schools. Now we're on to item L. We have lease, the annual lease for McKinley to use, for Head Start to use McKinley for the 2017-2018 school year. And item M, a request for approval of open enrollment. That is open enrollment request 2016-19 and 2016-20. So, as always for consent agenda items, any member can ask to pull an item and have it placed on the business section of the agenda, or you can ask a question, or you can approve them all in one motion.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a question.
Yep.
Any changes on the McKinley lease? No. Thanks.
It's a short no, there we go. It's, same lease as I think we've had for many, many years, so.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move approval.
I'd second that.
There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. That motion carries. We will now turn it over to the superintendent to celebrate successes in the district.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, everyone. Congratulations to Aubrey Rutledge, an eighth grader here in middle school, for winning the regional spelling bee in Mitchell. Aubrey has qualified for the state spelling bee for the third year in a row. Congratulations to the Huron High Speech and Debate team for placing second in the Central Forensic Conference Tournament held at Huron High School. Huron's second place win extends their streak of first or second place in the conference, finishing in the top two for 31 straight years. Congratulations to the coaches and teams. I want to specifically recognize your school board member, Jasmine Snow. As of an article here, I've got several people on how they finished, but Jasmine spends a lot of time at the board with all of you. In varsity oratory, Jasmine was second, and in programmed oral interpret, Jasmine also finished second. So great job, we're very proud of your work.
Thank you.
And what you do, so great job. Again, try to post all this on the superintendent's page, but congratulations to the team and their second place finish. Congratulations to Courtney Hoogland, Sam Gilbert, and Allison Valero for receiving individual acting superiors at the State One Act Festival. Congratulations to Peyton Williams Morrison, eighth grader from Huron Middle School, for being named middle school champion of the geography bee last week. He'll not compete in Aberdeen this spring. Peyton is the grandson of Cindy and Wilbur Williams. And congratulations to Tanner Cronin, runner-up. Great job, guys. Congratulations to Huron High School gymnast Erica Zell and Sydney Schillingstad for medaling in the state gymnastic meet. Erica and Sydney placed in the top 8 on the floor. Erica placed in the top 13 on the beam and named 12th all around. Well, I've done enough individual winners. I'm going to do the rest of the winners from the LD debate. In novice LD, Reese Euchre went 3-1 and placed second, and Jackson Trandle went 3-2 and placed fourth. In novice oratory, Sophia Leniniva, I'm not sure I'm getting her name right, placed first. How close did I come?
Pretty close from what I know. I've never tried, so
okay.
I commend you.
In novice extemp, Nathan Maxted placed third. In varsity extemp, Sean Preston was fifth. And in humorous interpret, Reese Euchre finished fifth. So again, congratulations to all of them. Thank you to Barb Nicholas, music teacher at Buchanan, for all her hard work on the K1 Winter Extravaganza concert, which was held February 6th and 7th. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. Kerwin, do you want to do that right now?
Sure.
Yeah. We're gonna, if the board doesn't object, we're gonna add in here, Mr. Hayter wanted to make a public announcement, so we're gonna give him time to do that now.
Thank you, David. I just wanted to let everybody know, I decided not to seek another term on the school board. I know we talked about that date for filing being the end of the week next Friday, and I wanted to take the opportunity to thank all the voters, the students, the staff, all the administrators, and all the fellow school board members for the opportunity to serve. This is my second go-around here, so I've served 12 years. So I really appreciate all the input and support and teamwork throughout all that time period. And I'd just like to add one other thing. I know that there's about a week and a half or 2 weeks till the nominations and the signatures have to be on and turned in for people to seek a term on the Huron School Board, and I would like to encourage people to run. I think it's always good when we have multiple candidates. It has an opportunity for those candidates to grow through the election process, to actually study closely some of the education issues that we have out there right now. Also gives the public a chance to get to know the candidates and to also discuss some of those same topics. So I'd like to encourage any of those that are interested to please seek that opportunity to run for the school board. And again, thank you for letting me have the time to make that announcement.
Thank you. And I did want to have that early on in the agenda because we did reference in the dates to remember that the deadline for filing petitions is next Friday, a week from Friday, so about 2 business weeks to get that turned in. To remind everybody, there are 2 spots open. There is a 2-year term and a 3-year term spot that are open, and you pick one of them to run for. And so anybody's welcome to file a petition for either one of those spots by next Friday at 5 p.m. So, okay. Thank you, Mr. Hayter. We will then move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the report to the board. Our first report is on the Classified Employee of the Month, presented by Beth Foss.
Good evening. I am very, very honored to present Danielle Radke as the Classified Employee of the Month at Washington 4-5 Center. Danielle is the type of person that you can go up to and say, would you do this for me? And she does it. No questions asked. Maybe under her breath she might say a few words, but today I gave her an assignment and she went, did it, and boom, it was done, and it's greatly appreciated. Also, she is my lead paraeducator, if there is one, but she is my lead. If there's a concern with recess or duty, I always go to her, and she always straightens everything out. So Mrs. Radke wears many different hats. Each responsibility she takes is done effectively, efficiently, without hesitation, and always a positive attitude. These are just some of her responsibilities. Before school, recess, covering classes during PLC time, covering classes for indoor recess, lunch duty, afternoon recess, working one-on-one with our scholars, effectively leading a SIPS intervention group, assisting with STEM, leading grade 4 and 5 keyboarding classes, acts as administrative assistant, secretary coverage during lunch. She is the treasurer of our PTO, 3 days a week in charge of the after-school MobyMax lab, in charge of giving out prizes for magazine sales. She thought she wasn't going to do it this year, but I gave it to her again. Helps with homecoming float, and she's a parent rep for social studies curriculum. And having 4 children, a husband that's the high school principal, and doing all of this, all we can say is, wow. Congratulations, Mrs. Danielle Radke, for being the classified employee at Washington 4-5 Center. I'm excited.